Hello and welcome to Module 2 of the 5-part lecture series on stress management. My name is Mia Bujanim and I am a school counselor trained with Florida Gulf Coast University. I am also a researcher offering this series to you as a resource for students grades 6 through 12 to better manage stress while at school. Whether you are conducting this lecture series within a small group or classroom setting or watching this video independently, please do not hesitate to stop this video at any time to discuss any of the points or participate in the exercises that may be integrated into the presentation. At the end of this lecture series, you may also be asked to take the pre-post-test stress management self-rating inventory in order to have a personal understanding of your mastery of skills before and after receiving this specialized training. In this video, you'll be reviewing how to initiate responsible decision-making about how to communicate stress to others. This will mostly consist of exploring examples and non-examples of effective communication and utilizing I feel statements. Now, if you are ready, let's get started. Whether you are in a group setting or working independently, the majority of these presentations will begin by establishing expectations when following along. This series will only last for 5 video lectures, but you may need anywhere from 6 to 10 meetings to truly explore and retain the content. For those of you that are in a group setting with your school counselor or other professional, I would like to quickly review our statement about confidentiality. As you already know, confidentiality can be generally defined as privacy related to your personal information. Please keep in mind that while you may be encouraged to share personal experiences related to the exercises or discussion points, it is best practice for you only to share what you are comfortable with others knowing. A professional may be able to keep your information safe to the best of their ability and limitations per their ethical and legal responsibilities. However, once an entire classroom is aware, please know that the ability to keep personal information private will be in the hands of your peers. Now that we have reviewed 2 of the required expectations of this lecture series, there are 3 remaining questions that best highlight the behaviors expected of any student participating. Take a moment to reflect upon before answering the following questions. What is the expectation when we communicate? This can include how we use our body, our words, or even in how we listen to others. How do we show that we can cooperate or work with each other to get the best possible results from our learning throughout this lecture series? This may require showing good listening skills or asking questions. How do we collaborate or share our thoughts and opinions with others in a respectful way? This may be an especially difficult question when we don't always agree. If anything has changed or you feel the need to add any new insights or norms, feel free to write down your responses. How do we communicate when we're stressed? When we are overly stressed, our brain goes into survival mode, activating our fight, flight, freeze response. This means we may become fixated on an issue and find ourselves struggling to communicate. For example, if you are fighting with a friend, maybe you respond by running from the problem and playing video games instead of expressing what you really need. Or maybe you say something unkind out of anger. You will notice other symptoms in the example on this picture, on this slide. Feel free to pause the video to think, pair up, and share your experiences related to the following questions. How do you communicate with others when you are stressed? Why do we need to communicate our stress? There are many different reasons as to why people talk about their stress. There are a few points that highlight the importance of communicating stress to a trusted friend or adult. A very simple strategy we can implement is the understanding that no one is a mind reader. Feelings aren't always obvious, especially when maybe the person doesn't want anyone to worry or ask them to talk about their concerns. In a lot of cases, it may even feel easier to hide how you're feeling rather than talking about it. Sometimes the problem will resolve itself, but if the people around you believe that everything is fine, then a lot of times people will push you to an emotional limit that you might not have been able to handle on a normal day, but not with the amount of stress that you're dealing with in that moment. For example, it may not be easy to talk about a memory of a family pet if they just died, which is why ideally you communicate that you're unable to talk about that until you have had a sufficient amount of time to grieve the loss. Another thing that happens is because you haven't communicated that you are stressed or need time for recovery of whatever you may be experiencing, people will take it personal when you start to show symptoms of emotional overload. Often people such as friends, family, and others that care about your general well-being will sometimes think that they may have caused your mood when there's a problem. So it's important to let them know that what is truly bothering you as a way of being considerate to their feelings. And of course, the last point being @superstressed entered the chat because dialogue or chatting when you are stressed can sometimes be therapeutic. Opening up the conversation to a trusted friend or adult will allow you to receive feedback or perspective on a situation, in turn leaving you feeling supported and possibly even better off than when you started. Now, when it rains, it pours, and you can see that examples will start to become easier the more you practice and watch people conversing in the future. Under each umbrella, you notice that ineffective communication covers behaviors that make a conversation difficult, such as yelling or name-calling. Under the effective communication umbrella, there are examples in which talking can be seemingly more natural, like using a soothing voice or kind words. Take a moment to think back on conversations you may have had in the past. What made them easier or harder? What were you making eye contact or ignoring the person in some way? Were you attentively focused on listening or was your mind elsewhere? Feel free to pause the video as a class or on your own and come up with some example behaviors you may add to each umbrella. Though one of the best things you can do is get out there and practice talking openly with trusted friends and adults, there are some strategies and tips that will really help you improve your communication skills. Using I feel statements is a very simple tool that we will review in the following slide, and they happen to be a very simple tool for helping you improve emotional awareness. For instance, getting into the habit of using I feel statements will help you recognize stressful emotions quicker and keep you alert to your warning signs in a more conscious way. Being specific will allow you to tackle your emotions easier. Just saying, "I'm angry with you," with no reasoning or way for the emotion to be resolved, leaves it so the stress you're feeling has no opportunity for relief. Try identifying the moment the feeling started and explore what you are thinking or feeling as though you were trying to help a friend. When you challenge the validity of your stress, take a moment to ask, how much of this is based in fact, and how much of this is just me getting carried away with how I'm feeling in a moment? You might think of a time you assumed how someone felt instead of just asking them, and maybe that made your stress 10 times worse. This is why it's so important to look for truth by communicating your concerns. Now, not every conversation is going to go smoothly. Some may even require addressing conflict with others. In those cases, it's important to prepare for misunderstandings. Not everyone is going to understand how your stress works or why you may need different things to resolve your stress, but that's okay. And that doesn't mean that the person you're communicating with doesn't understand your stress or pain at all. all it means is that you have a different set of problems, creating the same feelings on a human emotional spectrum. If there were any parting words of wisdom for expressing your stress, it would be to take care of yourself gently and slow down your thinking to avoid saying things you regret or didn't mean to say. You might even say, "Hold on, I'm thinking of how to explain what's going on or how I'm feeling." Now, if you remember in the previous slide, we touched briefly on I feel statements. Basically, the structure of an I feel statement will start off with an emotion and its cause or trigger. Then it will explain why the trigger is connected to that emotion and how to resolve the concern. Let's take a look at the example below, and then feel free to pause the video to come up with your own example. Mr. Scruffles, I feel stressed when you tell me that you need me to be prepared to give you attention at any moment, because then I don't know when I have time for myself. I would prefer that we have a set time for me to study so I can have time with you after. In this example, Mr. Scruffles is needing a lot of attention, and this is triggering stress for the speaker. The stress is being triggered because the speaker is feeling unable to focus on their studying because they are constantly being interrupted by Mr. Scruffles. In order to resolve the issue, the speaker suggests that they can set time aside for studying so Mr. Scruffles can have attention in a way that's more organized. Take a moment to write down an I feel statement that comes to mind, or one that you might use as a tool for communicating something that is currently stressing you. A role play is typically done with at least 2 people taking turns in a dialogue or conversation about any topic. In this case, we are reviewing communication in stressful situations. Whether you are reviewing this video series independently or with a class, now is a great opportunity to go over a hypothetical or made-up scenario in your head for practice with communicating stress. You may put yourself in the role or come up with a character, but the goal of this exercise is to create a stressful scene or situation and have them communicate with others to make the situation more manageable. You might think back to using I feel statements or asking for the facts of their situation, or you may find a completely different way of resolving the problem entirely. Add as much detail as you like to your story and try acting it out with a partner or even write a script. You can pause this presentation here until you are ready to move on to the next slide. Hopefully you had some fun with the role-playing activity. In this final slide, take a moment to answer the following questions. What that you are comfortable to share with the group would you like to do with this information outside of your meetings? What is your favorite or most useful strategy you learned? On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident do you feel in being able to the skills and using them, the skills learned today? And what questions, concerns, or feedback would you like to give me? Congratulations on the completion of Module 2. When you are finished, you may complete any remaining activities prepared by your instructor or continue on to Module 3.